Amasasi ganyuse eSsembabule waliwo Abakubidwa okuva mu NUP. Honorable Namugga omubaka ebyaddala amawulire agavaayo tegasanyusa n'akamu ku kibanja kye ekya X agambye nti akatyabaga akavuyo eSsembabule Town Council katandise era katandikidde mu Gear ku makya emmotoka y'owa NUP candidate ayitibwa Kangave William ate obulyawo bagisindidde ebyasi iyo gy'oli mu kubanga olaba era ebyaddala abasajja ye bagamba nti ba ame abanga bali mbyambalo ebyamaje ate obulyawo bakubye babiri bwe batyo ne batwalibwa mu ddwaliro e Masaka. Embeera yabadde etya kasuke nkulabe katini nkuwe story eno Honorable Namugga obulyawo gyashalinze n'ensi. Ku ssaawa 9 obudde nga busaasaana amasasi gakubiddwa era abantu babiri bakakasiddwa nti bo gabayiseemu. Omwami ayitibwa Sechwa Rogers myaka 20, Male Midi myaka 28 bano ne basindiriddwa ebyasi abagambibwa okuba nti basajja babadde byabakwerinda. Embeera ya bunkenke mu bitundu by'eSsembabule naddala ku kifo kya Ssembabule LC3 nga bano abatuuze bambi ababadde mu mbeera eyo bakubiddwa bubi nnyo nnyini ddala. Tuvuddeyo tukkiridde Ndibalekera Monica owa NRM, George William Kangave owa NUP ate Bishop Jackson Mulungi Independent bano ne bavuganya. Ronald Nsubuga Independent Kangave omuwagizi abawagizi be bagambibwa okuba nti bakubiddwa nga bano kigambibwa imbu babadde batambuza obulyawo ntambula y'aba agenti baabwe nga engeri gye bagenda okuba nga bitambula wadde nga oluvuvumu olulala lulaga nti bano badde badistributinga money era kigambibwa kati bino byogerwa ate side eri ey'aba opponent aboono abawagizi ba NUP abakubiddwa mbu eki ekyabakubiza era bagamba nti bano babadde mu mmotoka eno ate bulyawo abasajja abatamanya ngamba ba arrivinze ebasindira ebyasi oba olyawo nga mukama anazzabe kakati ababadde injured essaawa eno bali mu Guma Clinic wali mu bitundu by'eSsembabule bafuna treatment naye nga agavaayo mawulire si malungi. Kati Okwekalakaasa ku Uganda Hous bannayuganda abali bagamba nti obwanguzi bwa General Museveni bo bagamba nti tetubukkiririzaamu naye ebyaddala ki ekiri eSsembabule abantu nga balwana n'aka LC3 amasasi ne gavuga byonna bibino.
As you can see, the fight has not ended. The struggle continues as our Ugandan comrades in London went out in their numbers to protest, and all they are saying is we reject the fake and cooked results, and we know that Bobi Wine is the president-elect in Uganda, and that is the message they are sending. We reject the fake results. Bobi Wine is the president-elect, and he's the person the world knows that he has won the election in Uganda. Any other person is fake. Museveni and his regime of 40 years is fake. They are only trying to use the gun, but it is not going to work. The people have chosen whom they want, and that is President Bobi Wine. That's all. So you can see our comrades are protesting, and the message is clear. We reject the fake results. President Bobi Wine is the legitimate president of Uganda. The people voted massively in their numbers. A protest vote worked. It is only that a criminal regime is trying to use the gun. It is only cowards who believe that the only way to get power is to use the gun. The gun doesn't win power. It is the people who choose a leader. And the people have chosen His Excellency Bobi Wine as the legitimate president of Uganda. If you believe this, share this video and then type, "We reject every fake resource." Type it. We reject every
envumbo ku ggwanga erya Uganda singa binayitamu alooya w'obubwene heze yawandiikidde aba Commonwealth singa biyitamu kiki bitegeeza omukyalo ono abinyonyoda mu lunyanyimbe naye biba bitegeeza nti ate embeera egenda kuba etabukeddala naye nga ate kitegeeza ensi eri mu kubanga yetegereza eggwanga erya Uganda akabinyonyole ono.
Good afternoon, Uganda. Well, Bobi Wine's international lawyer Robert Amsterdam calls for sanctions and penalties to the government of Uganda in regards to the threats to Bobi Wine and his family. So, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that if they put sanctions on the country of Uganda, everything will get even more expensive and harder to get for yourselves. So, the international world is watching, and I'm glad that his lawyer is finally saying something. Now, we'll see what happens with this letter, but he posted this today, this morning actually, and I did make a post about what he said in the letter, so in the document. So that's what he is calling for, international sanctions to the government of Uganda. That means President Museveni, you will be dealing with a higher power, which is other countries and other authoritative figures. Hopefully this helps Bobby Wine and his family, because honestly, he's been away from home for weeks. His family does not see peace, and his wife, God only knows where Barbie is at this point. He has made no posts in the last couple of days. So hopefully something is going to happen to help the country and to help Bobby Wine and his family. Stay tuned. But please keep up your prayers for Bobby Wine and his family. But before I go, you must also do your part. Everyone says, well, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Museveni. I voted for Bobby Wine. If you truly, truly do mean that, you must also help yourselves by not deleting any photos that you have with him, because that just means that it's not only cowardly, it's just not right. So if you must keep, or if you want to keep a photo of Bobby Wine with you, then my suggestion is to back them up to the cloud, or just hide your phone from authority figures in Uganda. That's just my personal advice, because I don't think anyone should be arrested for having a photo with Bobby Wine. But again, the regime in Uganda does things a little bit differently. So, and that only is not right. It's against, what criminality is it to have a photo with somebody? It's not. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon or evening.
I wanted to make a few comments once again on the situation in Uganda, our beloved Uganda. So as many of you know, recently, the imbecile General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who effectively, of course, is the deputy military dictator in Uganda to his father, General Yoweri Museveni. And when he tweets, when he speaks, he's speaking with the approval and coordination, and perhaps even his father is the one who drafts those tweets. Because if his father disapproved of those tweets, he would have fired his imbecile son a long time ago. But Museveni, of course, is Machiavellian. And that is one of the reasons he has been able to survive for 40 years as military dictator in Uganda. But he is not as smart as he thinks he is, number one. Number two, everything has a limit, and the limit is arriving for Museveni. The biggest card that Museveni has had for many years is the fact that Ugandan soldiers are deployed in Somalia. That is very important for U.S. foreign policy. So every time the United States, which of course trains Uganda's military, provides the weapons, and for many years until next year, provided the Ugandan regime with about $900 million every year, U.S. taxpayer money. That has ended with Donald Trump. But what Museveni used to do, he would threaten to withdraw Uganda soldiers from Somalia. And since Somalia is a very important, to U.S. foreign policy considerations, the fear that Somalia would become another haven for radical Islamic terrorism. And that is why Somalia is important to U.S. And Museveni's deal was that I can stabilize Somalia by having Ugandan troops there. So every U.S. president, the blackmail card has worked with every U.S. president until this time with Donald Trump. It worked under Obama, it worked under Clinton, it worked under the Bushes. It has always worked for General Museveni. But this time it did not work. So when, after Museveni stole the elections and at least parts of his army went on a rampage, and then Senator Risch made that statement condemning this fraudulent election in Uganda and condemning the repression that has been unleashed by General Museveni and Hous against Ugandan civilians. And also, which is very important, by the way, saying that Uganda is actually spreading regional instability. Museveni realized that these were very serious statements, that the U.S. is willing to stop supporting him. And that is why he reminded the U.S. that we still have soldiers in Somalia. And that is how Muhoozi ended up tweeting that they're going to end the cooperation with the U.S. in Somalia. Well, guess what? He had to delete those tweets in a matter of hours and to kneel down and beg for forgiveness and apologize. Okay? That's what happened. That means Museveni now has no, at least under this administration, the U.S., no capacity to blackmail the United States. He has no cards left on the table, at least for now. So we need to ask the question, so what next? What next should be to release the true results of the election and for Bobi Wine, who rightfully defeated Museveni, to be sworn in as president of Uganda. And the country moves forward. The sky will not drop. Uganda can negotiate whatever cooperation to continue because everybody at the end of the day wants Somalia to be stabilized. But it should not be a question of Museveni blackmailing the United States in order to get support for his domestic terrorist regime in Uganda. That should not be the way forward. I'm sure more African countries will be willing to join Uganda to properly stabilize Somalia so that Somalia can have a normal government and move forward, not live under the shadow of Museveni dominating that effort by every time saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to withdraw, I'm going to withdraw. Well, this time it did not work, which is, to me, an indication of a possible seismic shift. So we need to move forward from this situation. And the best thing would be, of course, for the person who won the election, which is Robert Kyagulanyi, a.k.a. Bobi Wine, to be sworn in. Have a real government in Uganda, start fighting many of the issues that we need to fight, corruption, which has become national policy under Museveni. If you want to read how Uganda has become so corrupt, how Museveni has been so brutal, even worse than General Idi Amin, then you should read Professor Mahmoud Mamdani's book, Slow Poison. Order that book, and he has really detailed it quite well. And there's no excuse for these international agencies and Western countries to continue supporting Museveni. He's 82 years plus. Nobody even believes that's his real age. So obviously there has to be change. And there could be no better moment than right now to have the person who won the election to be sworn in. And I have to say this again. I know it's becoming clear that it would be the wrong thing to do, but I still have to say it. General Muhoozi and General Museveni, if you harm Bobi Wine or if you have him killed, you know Ugandans will do the right thing. There'll be serious consequences. So that should not even be on the table at all. Thank you, sisters and brothers.